just make sure the audio is on. Yep, it's working. Hey everyone, how's it going? So I haven't been able to stream lately, and I tried to do one yesterday, but Windows had an update that pretty much ruined all my settings for my monitor and for OBS and for my art program, so I spent about the last 2 days trying to fix everything. And it's about finished. Hopefully it won't give me any issues now. So I'm still a little salty about it because it's very annoying to have to deal with. Well, what are you gonna do? And if there's anything you notice in the stream, like serious lagging or issues with the actual video, then let me know in the comments or in the stream chat. Because, again, I've been experimenting with OBS last few days, trying to make sure everything works right. And then once I finally had everything set where it didn't give me any trouble, I had to install the Windows update that ruined everything. So that was a good week worth of research and trial and error wasted. How's it working? Yeah, so far the stream seems to be okay. Right now I'm working on a poster design. Right now, I'm just trying to do a little redesigning on it. Again, let me zoom out real quick. The basic layout for it is going to be this. It's War of the Worlds, the scene in London. I'm trying to update it so it's relevant to the day. So it's going to have the London Eye and Big Ben in the background being destroyed. I'm going to be doing my own take on the tripods. So right now I'm just designing them. I'm playing around with that a bit. Because originally, let me turn this layer off and show you. This is my original design, and as you can see, the eye on the center tripod is aiming downwards. But that messes with the tentacle leg, so I'm going to have it a little more centered. And pretty soon I'll start on the finished product, which I'm going to be doing this is just the outline. I'm actually going to draw the whole thing as a scratch board, or a digital scratch board, which, again, I have a couple of those on my Instagram, if you want to check those out to get a better idea of what I'm talking about. I'll have a link in the description below. Yeah. Then we'll just have a little bit of that. And again, I'm slightly pressed for time. Not really though, because I got a little under about an hour 40 minutes I can draw on this. Probably an hour and a half. So I should be able to get some work on this done quite easily. Yeah, I'm still gonna cheat and use the ellipse tool for this because it's just the outline. It's not gonna be the finished product that's going to be drastically different. It's weird on me. And where's the pen? And the way I want this to work is I want it to have almost these 3 eyes, but I'm planning to have it asymmetrical. But the problem with doing that, or not really a problem, just a level of difficulty, is that it is a spherical object. So I can't just have the flat circles, I have to actually have them warped to reflect that this is a sphere. This one now we'll lower that. Again, there was a trick to do this, but I can't remember it right now. I'm not too crazy about how that looks. You know what? I actually do like the aesthetic of it overlapping like that. traditionally the best way to actually draw a really good circle is just draw a box and round it out. I should do this. That. Shift Control T. And that works. Give that a second to catch up. Yeah, so far the stream seems to be holding up okay. And again, since this is just the outline sketch and not even the finished outline, it's going to be the rough. I don't want to be too obsessed with getting it absolutely right. That's what the final outline is going to be about. Okay. I say as I obsess over this small detail. And it still feels a little wonky to me. I don't know. See, I don't know if it's Manga Studio, Clip Studio, whatever it's called, or my actual monitor. Because I had to reinstall my monitor driver twice and reset it, recalibrate everything. But I also had to reset a couple of my hotkeys for Manga Studio. So it could be either or that's giving me, like, I don't want to say trouble, because the program is not being weird or anything, it's just the calibration feels slightly off. Not off enough to actually be a problem. And Yeah, that alone already looks way better. So a little more. Okay. Go. Just cleaning this up a little bit. In that bag, because I like the American design I got going. Originally I had the other eye there, but now I'm leaning more towards down here. Like that. Maybe a little more centered. No. Hang on. Not feeling that. Which is a shame, because that was actually a decent circle for my first quick. And this is stabilization seems right. Maybe shrink it down a bit. It's way too small. Actually, yeah, let me try the brush. Maybe the brush would be better. No idea how to add that one bit less. Yeah, the brush feels way smoother than the pen. A little thick though. Behold, the riveting world of art. trying to figure out the proper settings. Hmm. Let me flesh that a little bit more. And from the layer, yeah, I gotta, that section now. It's probably what's throwing me off a bit. A little too much. There. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, I'm liking that way better. Stream's doing okay? Yeah, the stream's holding up okay. I'm glad I'm finally getting a stream in. Like, I wanted to make sure I had everything working okay before I could do one, because I've made an ass out of myself plenty of times, because my stream, however I had OBS set up, was not a good setup, because it constantly crashed. But now it's working. So hopefully it's going to work okay, and if I can get this to work alright, then I might consider doing, I'm hoping to do actual art streams regularly. But I've also been thinking about doing, even though it's way played out, Let's Plays on Twitch. Mostly just to justify me playing video games, because I don't get to do that much anymore. Now, most of my time I spend drawing. And especially now that I have a PC, and now with the Steam Summer Sale going on, which, to be perfectly honest, I'm kind of disappointed with. Because I have a lot of friends who are hardcore gamers, or hardcore PC gamers, I should specify. And they praise Twitch, which I love Twitch, or not Twitch, Steam. So I don't multitask well. Yeah, I'm liking this asymmetrical design going on. Yeah, and then the Steam sale, I've heard all these like horror stories of people spending thousands of dollars without even realizing it. Because games end up being so cheap. And they're cheap, but I was expecting like 90% off this brand new game, but again, this just goes to show you how much of a gamer I'm not anymore. The majority of games on there, I either have no interest in, and the ones on sale I do have interest in, I either one, already have, or two, they're still a little pricey for me. Which, again, I'm attempting to move back to New York, so I'm being very frugal with how I spend money, so that probably also plays into it. But with that said, there's and just games on there that even with their sale price, I could still get on like eBay for my 360 or my PS3 for about the same price. And I realize that Steam and PC is going to be much better in comparison to the console editions. But again, I'm not a hardcore enough gamer to care about that anymore. Just for the heck of this. Liking that. I'm liking the almost header like eye, so it looks more almost like a camera lens, an old school camera lens. Actually, I should probably save. I have not saved in a while. Hey, Avion Piskian 33. I'm just gonna call you Avion. Is that okay? Aperture. That's probably where I'm getting this idea. And thank you, by the way. Nice to meet you. So, right now, since you probably haven't seen it yet, and let me get everything in here. Again, it's a little cluttered because it's just a like rough design, but in here. I'm gonna cheat real quick. Dang, wrong way, hang on. So this is a rough design of how I want it to end up looking. But still got a lot of work to put into it. Oh, it's you, Ty. Hey. Did not realize it was you at first. Yeah, this is a War of the Worlds poster. It's for this contest I found in London. At the deadline's July 15th, so I want to try and get this done. Which definitely is that 5. And let me clean all those out. Yeah. Yeah, the contest is for any story that centers or has a significant part take place in London, England. And it was between this and doing something Doctor Who related. And I chose this mainly because it is public domain, so I can actually use this in my portfolio without any issue. Because I desperately need stuff in my portfolio. And I know it's been a few years since I've actually seen you, hasn't it? I'll try and get back and forth into the chat, but I apologize if I end up ignoring you. I don't mean it on purpose, but I just kind of struggle to divide my focus at times. That layer, this layer. Oh, I have the eraser set it. Yeah, for those of you who watch this video later and are not present, Ty is actually an old friend from high school. And like is the video lagging or is it a low resolution? Mm. Yeah, I do think that actually looks way better than the eye staring down. Mm. Just to help like distinguish it a bit. Again, I'm going to be doing this as a scratchboard design drawing. And just having these squiggles in right now will help me like define these specific components of the tripods. And what I'm planning to do, because I'm trying to schedule it so I do have quite a lot of time dedicated to the final project. Right now, if my schedule works out as I have it planned, I'm going to put about 60 hours into it. So it's going to have a lot of intricate detail, like what I'm doing now, but much cleaner. Mm-hmm. I think I'm going to do a turbine style. I either need to have sort of LED lights cycling through here or a almost turbine style because of how the tripods in War of the Worlds I'm gonna let my geek show here basically have these disintegration or highly concentrated heat guns cycle through their eye. That's like their main weapon. And the second eye, you have the same thing, only in reverse. Of course, the final product, I'm going to map it out better. Yeah, you know what, just for now, make the opacity way low for this. Yeah. Yeah, so far that's looking okay. Let me get the... I'm gonna end up cheating again in a little bit. Alright. Opacity is very low, that's why it's not showing right. Alright, so it's my mic that's the problem. Hang on a sec. Yeah, I have a cheap mic. And let me just check the properties of that real quick. Yeah, I'm not seeing any issue with it. So I'm just gonna check the settings real quick. Yeah, my mic was giving me problems yesterday too. Hang on, I'm gonna turn my volume on. Yeah, I can hear me coming from this, but my audio comes from a flat screen, not speakers, so that might play into it. Also, I have a funny voice, and I cannot speak like an adult. So that might also be what it is. And my air conditioner is on because it is 90 degrees out. So that probably has a lot of interference too. There's a whole lot of audio things that I do not understand. I did not study audio. Probably should have. At least found one class. Although I don't think they had a class for audio back at... Well, they probably did. I'm just an idiot that didn't see it. I had found plenty of film classes. Not plenty, I'd say 3. Arguably 4, but I got thrown out of the last one because I didn't meet the criterion. Long story there. Yeah. Probably 2 classes I regret never having the chance to take in college. Something for audio and a photography class. And I don't really have much of an excuse for the audio class, mostly because I would have to buy a good camera and all that stuff, and that would be very expensive on my budget. I guess that's an okay excuse. Although I really should get a camera anyway. Yeah, photography would probably be my weakest medium. Which I have a lot of respect for it. I just never took interest in learning it, mostly because of how many factors play into how your product comes out that you have zero control over. Because unless you're in a actual like studio where you can control the wind and the lighting, you're really screwed in that department. Because this is what I do know about photography. There's this moment called the golden hour, which is the only perfect time to actually take photos with the lighting outside. And if you miss that window of opportunity, it's going to be much more difficult, because that's the best lighting you can get in the day. And even then, you also have to factor in things like wind, weather, real life things. It's looking pretty good. good so far. I'm liking it. Yeah. I do have one friend from college who's an amazing photographer, which I would highly recommend checking him out. I don't know like his how to spell his last name, but it's Frederick Georges, I believe. Or you know what? Tomorrow I'll be doing another stream. I'll get his website and throw it up because he's an amazing photographer that people should check out. And, and I'm going to be doing a bit of a stylized take. Because when you can't draw something like it's supposed to look, you just draw it the way you can draw it and call it stylized. That way you're a good artist. And gotta make sure the hand is pointing towards the second tripod. You know, composition. Let's pen him in. What time is it? 9:30? We got some time. Don't hold me to the stream tomorrow night. I'm going to try, but with my luck, something will happen to ruin that. Although I gotta say, I am doing remarkably well this time around. Yeah. Uh, Welcome back, Ty. No, that won't work. real quick, I wanna just to get an idea of how the laser is going to work right. And that's what I'm forgetting. Yeah. Oh. Which layer were those on? Did I erase those? Oh no, they're here. They're still on the first layer. Yeah, I have to add the tendrils too. And let me save. Always remember to save. I've made that mistake too many times. I have no idea why, but when I start to save, the monitor goes black for a second. And scares me. It's probably because this is actually a very large file. Turn all this off. It's a little too... Wrong layer. This might be a little more difficult than to figure out. Hmm. See how that looks. Hmm. think I had a... Yeah, I had ones going up, too. It's an ant on my monitor that just tried to crawl on my face. It's disturbing. There. And these are going to be a little trickier to draw, because these are going to purposely look entangled and warped. A 6, right? Hmm. Then let's do a little experimenting. Actually, let's try the pencil. Just to help flesh this out a bit, get an idea of how it's going to read when I actually scratch it. Whoa. I don't, I don't know if you guys just saw that, but my stylus just sort of started lagging there because I was going too fast for it. So yeah, this is just an experiment. Final product will actually be much more clean and organized than the lines I'm making now. And the sphere is going to be a difficult thing to get down too. Which I'm probably planning on doing as a sort of scapegoat and cheat instead of doing all the clean, organized lines like this. I'd probably do a more scratch design or scuffy. And then use the light to show off how it's a sphere instead of the actual line work. You're near the edges, since those will be darker, the output more uniform lines. Not sure if that's gonna work. Like, as it is on this, I could see it going either way. I can see it working out amazingly. I can also see it failing horribly. Yeah. See how that... Yeah, and then the pen tool in there, because up here it's going to be darker, since it's being eclipsed. What time is it? 9:40? Yeah, I gotta work in about an hour, so should probably start packing it up soon. Otherwise I'll end up late. Which, again, hasn't happened in a while, but on the few occasions I have been late, they actually happened because I was drawing and just lost track of time. As you do. Put a few really dark lines up here. And a few light ones here, just really flesh out the shadowing. Which, this is actually what I do for when I do actual scratch boards, like the physical ones. I practice drawing it in pencil first and see how those lines look. Because in principle it is the same practice, only in reverse, where instead of adding lines or subtracting negative space, you're adding negative space. And we'll zoom out real quick. Yeah, see, from a distance that looks like it can actually work really well. Yeah, I think that'll work. And then on the shutter parts, these all do the more uniform lines too. I'll be a little cleaner with these ones. One thing I do have to get in the habit of is just rotating the canvas on here. Because if I was drawing on paper, I would definitely turn the paper around to make the line movement much more fluent to me, but I don't know, maybe because it's on a monitor and the monitor itself won't rotate, or maybe because I'm doing a stream and that might confuse people. I'm much more abrasive when it comes to rotating the paper. Actually here, that would not be the dark area. Yeah, the lines would be a little thicker on the edge here since it is wrapping around. Yeah, so far that actually looks pretty promising. And just to give this a little sense of depth. It's a little dark. Gonna I'm gonna have to do the whole thing heavy and then subtract. Yeah, here, well, we're just sticking the whole thing up. Why not? My drawing, I'll do whatever I want. Yeah, it's starting to lag now. Which concerns me slightly. And I'll figure it out. Again, effectively this would be, if I was to print this out to size, it would probably be a 3-foot tall or 4-foot tall poster as it is. Because what I do for resolution purposes, I try to make whatever I'm drawing twice the size it needs to be on the first canvas. And then when I save it as a PDF, or make the final PDF or JPEG, I'll open a new window that's the actual size, and then I'll shrink it down and capture that detail better. That's working better. Oh, you mean my icon? It's actually that's Balto dressed as Jotaro from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I tend to draw a lot of fan art and cartoons. And I like to have something to help visually distinct my stream, even though no one watches it. So, again, whatever's a remotely or relatively new drawing I did also up there. Yeah. I guess I could be classified. I would say I'm a furry on paper only. Like, I cosplay, but I don't do the actual personas. I just find it much easier and more fun to draw animals instead of people. So if I need an icon, I'm much more likely to draw a wolf than try and draw a person because it's going to look better. Hmm. Yeah, I would not call myself an actual furry because it depends on how you define it. Like, to me, a furry is someone who actually does the whole persona fursuit thing, and I don't do that. And I'm amazed people are able to do that because I do cosplay, and at conventions I almost die of heat stroke in just the simple stuff I do. So I have no idea how they manage to have those really complex suits without dying from heat stroke. I'm genuinely impressed at how they do not die. just gonna make noises now that make me sound like I'm thinking. Yeah, I really should make an actual permanent icon. So right now I have the Balto Jojo one. I had one of Courage the Cowardly Dog dressed as Dipper from Gravity Falls. I think I had another one. Yeah. Me. Try and finish up. Soon. Yeah. Yeah, I'm getting crunched for time, so I'm just gonna focus on forcing this out. I will later, Ty. Good hearing from you. Sure to stop by some other time, if you can. How did I end this one? Just clean that line up. And real quick, just to cheat a bit, kept it on horizontal. Yeah, I wanted to. I'm just gonna inch this over nice and slowly. And over here. Instead, what I should do, assuming Manga Studio doesn't crash on me yet, we trash this layer. They'd probably want these tentacles too, now that I think about it. And just for this second, we'll lower that opacity. Same as before. Oh crap, hang on. Wrong layer. No. And flip horizontally. Hopefully that works. Okay, that time I got the right layer. Give this a minute. I know this is probably very boring to watch, but art is an art. Takes time and patience. Go. Give that a minute to register. We'll do is a bit of a trick here. And now we'll enter it like that. And I'm sorry, this is gonna take a sec. Yep. Screen just went black, so this might take a quick minute to finish. Hopefully it doesn't crash on me. That'll upset me. Not upset. Well, yeah, upset. Let's go with upset. There we go. That's saved because that made me paranoid. Writing the file, writing the file. And what we'll do here, Shift Control I to invert it. And eraser, yep, this way. There. And put a layer 4, that full opacity. There. And we'll just wrong layer. Just clean up those little bits real quick. And I got about 3 minutes. Let's just add a couple lines in here, make sure it's readable as water. On that layer, oh, wrong layer. How's that looking, everybody? Alright, I got work in about 20 minutes, so I'm gonna have to call it a night. Well, thanks to Tyre and anyone else who happened to stop by. If you want to see me draw some more, I'll be working on this poster again tomorrow. Hopefully I'll start around 3 p.m. Eastern time, but don't hold me to that. And if you want to see me draw in general, just feel free to subscribe to this channel and let me know what you want me to draw in the comments down below. So, till next time, everyone. Once again, thanks again for stopping by, and take care.